I'm talking with Molly Walt, who is the CEO of Nevada Rural Counties RSVP. And Molly is a guest today of our Wellness Wednesday from Vitality Integrated Program Services. We'd be really excited if you tell us what NVRSVP is.
Yes, so Nevada Rural Counties RSVP is Retired Senior Volunteer Program. We're a nonprofit. We've been established for about 54 years. We are in all rural counties. We have our offices in Carson City, Winnemucca, Elko, Caliente, Ely, Pahrump, Tonopah, Fallon, Fernley, and in Douglas County as well. Our mission is to provide services to help seniors and adults with disabilities remain independent, living in their home, avoiding independent or assisted living care is what our mission is.
And so it sounds like volunteers in the name, right, Molly? You rely on volunteers?
Yes, yeah. So Retired Senior Volunteer Program, we do rely heavily on volunteers, which helps with all of our 11 different programs that we offer. Each community, we have some communities we may only offer one or two programs, and then in other communities, dependent really on the amount of volunteers that we have, we could be offering up to 10 to 11 different programs.
Oh, that's great. And so the more volunteers we have from our communities, the more opportunities. And it sounds like you have some pretty big needs right now, Molly, if you wouldn't mind telling us that before we shift to our next segment.
Yeah, so we are... Our largest program is transportation. And so we have, in the Elko community, we have 2 fleet vehicles. We help get seniors and adults with disabilities to their medical appointments, shopping. But we're in desperate need of drivers. Right now, we are looking for drivers. Drivers can either drive our fleet vehicle or they can drive their personal vehicle. If they drive their personal vehicle, they do get a mileage reimbursement as well. And so that is our driving is a huge need for us, as well as home companions. As we know, a lot of our seniors are living alone. They don't have much for family, friends, and so we have a waiting list for our home companions. We ask that a volunteer, provide them companionship once or twice a week, just so everybody needs a friend, and we're really hoping that program is to combat social isolation. And so we need those volunteers.
That's wonderful, Molly. We're talking with Molly Walt. She is the CEO of Nevada Rural Counties RSVP Programs, the volunteer program helping seniors and adults. And Molly, we were talking about why this independence is so important and why volunteers can make such a critical difference.
Yeah, so independence for our seniors is extremely important due to the fact that the cost of assisted living has skyrocketed. And so it's not really affordable at all. And I know for myself, I would want to live in my home as long as I can. It's where I raise my kids and it's my home. And so we work really hard in hopes to have our seniors and adults with disabilities live independently in their own home, which is hard when you don't have a connection with the community or if you don't have a support system in place. And that's where we come in. As I mentioned, our transportation is huge, our home companionship. Our companions provide that socialization, checking in on them, just, hey, is everything okay? Is there anything I can help you with? I think we take for granted, you and I will probably be we can step on a ladder, go up 3 steps to change a light bulb. But would you trust an 85 or an 86-year-old to do that?
Yeah, those are really compelling reasons, Molly. And the other thing that's important for volunteers to know, because a lot of folks are busy, but they want to do something. They want to help. They want to give back to the community. So tell us about how volunteering is flexible with RSVP.
Yeah, so with our clients, the majority of our clients, if not 99% of our clients will take any time that is given to them. And so if you work, if you work during the day, we have a program that's called our Nevada Golden Connections. It's telephone reassurance. You can use your lunch hour and you can call our client and just kind of check in, talk about the weather, talk about, what movies they might want to watch or a book, or they love to talk about their past. And, that could be done during your lunch hour if you wanted to do that. If you wanted something more, during the day, if you're retired, you set the day and we match you with that client that, you the two of you would be compatible. And then you set the day and the times in which you want to be able to volunteer. For driving, say that if you wanted to say, hey, I'll give you every Tuesday, then we'll let our clients know that if you need rides, we have a driver on Tuesdays. So make your appointments on Tuesdays, because that one is probably a for sure thing. It's all flexible. Whatever time works for majority of people is what we will work with.
Molly Walt is our guest. She is the CEO with Nevada Rural Counties RSVP. And Molly, we talked about how important independence is to our senior citizens and adults who need a little extra help. But sometimes making that connection matters just as much as getting a ride.
Yes. It's not just about driving. We definitely do not drive like Uber drivers, where they don't really talk or provide that companionship with our clients. Our clients, they want to talk. Some of our clients may not have spoken to anybody in a week, whether it be their doctor's office. And so we ask that all of our clients make that human connection. And again, I always say this too, it's something I think we all take for granted when we are able to go out and about and go to the grocery store and speak to the, to the butcher at the deli or to speak to the cashier. A lot of our clients don't have that. They just don't. And so that human connection is so unbelievably important. And it helps them, continue to be involved in their community. They have that awareness of, I am part of a community.
What a wonderful way to make those connections. So it sounds almost like a two-way street, Molly. I mean, the volunteers often say that they get just as much out of these relationships as they're able to give.
Because I do. I mean, I volunteer as well, and I have a phone companion, and sometimes I get more, when I've had a horrible day, and, I then call my senior, and I get to learn about what life was like, with her growing up, or, different things that she sees in a day that I don't. And many times they just talk and it's laughter, and it just brings you outside of what your day was, the awfulness or the bad day that you had, and it just keeps you grounded. It really has brought me to not take much for granted, that's for sure. And know that every relationship I have is important, and we just hope to bring that to our seniors in the community.
That's so wonderful, Molly. Thanks for bringing us, of course, this information, and it might just fill the gap that someone in the Elko area, rural Nevada community might need. Molly, we've heard some wonderful things about how people can really have a wonderful experience with RSVP as a volunteer. So now we want to make sure people know that, especially in rural Nevada counties, we rely on each other, and we just shouldn't take that for granted, should we?
No, we definitely should not, because when you never know what life has for you in the future. And so when you are alone and you don't have anyone, that's where I would hope we come in together as a community and start taking care of our neighbors.
And we want to help make those connections. Now, we don't have large transportation services or those service networks, and sometimes people might be, intimidated with like a public service. So this sounds more like neighbors, helping neighbors in a safe and supported program.
It is. It really is, because everything that we do provides that companionship. Our volunteers are our eyes and ears, and so they report back to us to let us know that any client that may not be doing very well, and so then we can try to get them to different resources that we may not have and we may not be able to offer, and it just keeps an eye. I think it brings me back to what it was like maybe in the 60s and 70s when we all did know our neighbors. And, you keep an eye out on them. And when things aren't going right, you help. That's what we're asking of the community is to help, because our wait lists are growing.
So the wait lists are growing, the people in need who would love that companionship you've been describing, just another reliable person, a neighbor that they can get to know. And there is some structure. The initiative is backed by some other collaborative agencies. Is that right, Molly?
Yeah, so our volunteer recruitment efforts that we're doing right now is backed by AmeriCorps through Nevada Volunteers. It is a grant that we received for volunteer recruitment. And so we're working hard and diligently in all of the communities that we provide services to do some volunteer recruitment.
Nice. And so the last question is just, if someone feels called to help after this conversation, what's the best way to get in touch?
So they can always visit our website, which is nvrsvp.org, or they can call our office at 775-687-4680, extension 2. But our Elko office is actually inside the Senior Center. It's a great partnership that we have with the Senior Center, and our service coordinator there is Gina Ray. And so if you ask for Gina and you say, hey, I want to volunteer with RSVP, she will definitely be able to get you hooked up with RSVP.
Oh, that's wonderful. Molly, thank you so much for all your time today, and most of all for the passion that you have for this position. Molly Walt is the CEO with Nevada Rural Counties RSVP. Thank you, and we'll hope to steer some volunteers your way, Molly.
Yes, and thank you for having me.